Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the wrap up, your daily dose of pop culture and movie news, hosted by me, Mr. H Reviews. On today's show, you've seen it. You can't miss it. It's a giant 80s inspired poster of Wonder Woman. We'll be talking Wonder Woman 1984 and the fact that DC will be skipping Hall H this year at San Diego Comic-Con. We'll also be taking a look at Brian Tyree Henry in talks for A Quiet Place 2, Bill and Ted 3. There's some casting updates. And then also we will be taking a look at Stranger Things 3 because there's been a new poster revealed and some slight reveals on the poster, or some kind of speculation. Anyway, for timestamps for everything which I've just discussed, if you want to skip ahead and not listen to me waffle crap, then you can. Just leave the link, the timestamps, they're down below in the description box or in the pinned comments. So please do just skip right ahead. Don't worry about that at all. That being said though, guys, if you are new here and you want to stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news, then please do hit subscribe and smash that bell notification icon, because then you'll be notified of the daily upload, this daily show. Also, just straight from the top, shameless plug, if you like what I am doing here on the channel, please do consider supporting it over on Patreon. You can see a link to that down below in the description box. Not only do you support this show and hopefully improving it in many, many ways, but you'll also get exclusive access to Patreon-only content on that as well. So anyway, let's get right into it. Wonder Woman 1984. Awesome poster. Really, really good poster. But very, very different. Different costume, for starters. Very, very different costume. Now, this comes to us actually courtesy of Patty Jenkins. She took to Twitter and she said, "By now, you've heard Warner Bros. Isn't going to Hall H this year. We're so sad to miss you there and waiting until December to start our official Wonder Woman 84 campaign in full. But the truth is, we can just barely wait." Now, a few things to note here. I mean, the poster alone is awesome. What a great new costume she's wearing. I don't really know what this reveals. It almost looks like ceremonial armor. Definitely nothing like what we've seen in the movies already. So I really like the armor. I think it's great. I think as much as DC have their issues, they absolutely nail their costumes. And this is, nothing short of that either. They really have nailed this costume. And Gal Gadot, I mean, what a stunning woman. So I really like this poster. I like the 80s vibe. And I'm really keen to see how this movie plays out. There was a lot of leaks when this was first announced and it's first started into production, and then it's just gone dead. Now, there was some rumors to say that they've reworked this to form a kind of Flashpoint paradox, which would kind of bring us, a new DC universe. That may be the case. And maybe the case, it remains to be seen. With respect to this, though, I mean, the other big take-homes is the fact that DC is skipping Hall H this year. Why? Why is that? I mean, we've got a few DC movies dropping this year, but then realistically, there's nothing confirmed moving forward. You've got Suicide Squad, but that's still early days yet, so they wouldn't really have anything to show, to show at Hall H. We have the Joker. I mean, that should be, if I remember rightly, that might even be out by that point. Or it will just be released. There's not really any point. They would have already started their marketing ramp up. There's nothing really which they've got in the pipeline which would show us, that they could show us at Hall H. I will say this though, it's interesting that they are choosing to skip it, because there was rumours obviously that Disney and Marvel will be back this year at Hall H to announce things in the pipeline, especially for the Disney Plus streaming services and things like this. So I think this is a strategic move by Warner Bros. And DC. I think this bodes really, really well. And also, you've got to remember, Warner Bros. Have been doing a lot with the Toho, Japan, Kaiju Titan, Godzilla universe. So I think this is good news from a personal perspective. I think this is a strategic move by Warner Bros. And DC. But I'm intrigued to hand it over to you guys and see what you guys think about this, the poster, the fact that we know for starters now the campaign will be starting in December. What do you think about this? Let me know down below in the comments section. Now, moving on, let's take a look at Stranger Things. So they released a new poster, and what does it show us? Well, One summer can change everything. That is the new tagline, the latest and greatest tagline for Stranger Things Season 3. There's a few things here. I mean, we've got the Starcourt Mall. We know that that is going to be paramount to this season. It's the central focus. I think they nailed it with the aesthetic and the tone of the Starcourt Mall and everything that malls embodied around that era. I think they've absolutely nailed it. There's a few interesting things here. I mean, we can see the... what was the character's name? Let's just have a look. Billy. That was the one. We can see Billy here in what looks to be potentially the Upside Down. Now, I say that obviously because it is such two-tone there. We can see... I can't actually even make out that chap there. I'd initially thought it was Hopper. But we can see the dead rats, or... well, some of them look to be dead. That one's definitely dead. But it's the tone. So there was some rumours that Billy had turned into this, basically. They were thinking that Billy was going to be this creature. And that may be what this is hinting at. I mean, this is all speculation, obviously, at this point in time. It's really interesting to see some of the returning characters. I was a little bit let down with Season 2. But for this one, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm hoping that these actors come into their own, and they actually act a little bit more. But let's see what EW has said about this. So they say that we're a month away from the highly anticipated July 4th launch of Stranger Things 3, and Netflix is starting to pass out more details of the secretive 8-episode season, including a brand new 80s poster. Interesting to know that it's 8 episodes. I can't overly remember if the last one was 10 episodes or not, but never mind. It says all the core casts are there, including a prominently displayed scrunchie wearing 11, Millie Bobby Brown. I will say this actually, I was quite impressed with Millie Bobby Brown in Godzilla. I think she is better than I previously gave her credit for. So I will look forward to seeing her in this, and again, hopefully see that these actors come into their own. But it says, along with a shout out to Season 3's most important new location, the Starcourt Mall. That suburban hangout is a major presence in Stranger Things 3, and is where Steve and new character Robin are employed at the ice cream shop. So that's obviously front and center in the trailers. It's all downhill from there as things get progressively darker with the introduction of a very unpleasant creature, a sinister looking fella with a machine gun, and Billy standing outside a super creepy factory. Okay, cool. So they don't even know who this character is. So looks to be a new one. And yeah, I guess he does have what looks to be like a submachine gun there. I'm looking forward to this. I think this is... I mean, look, it's Stranger Things, so I think most people are looking forward to this. And I for one, am. I'm keen to see how this pans out. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think it's too obvious? Do you think Billy being this creature is just way too obvious? Or do you think he has at least something to do with it? Because of his sinister nature in Season 2. And the fact that he's the only one down here. Let me know down below in the comment section. And also just let me know if you're even looking forward to this. Because, again, some people aren't, some people are. But I would be keen to hear. So, Bill and Ted. We have their daughters. Amazingly. So, Bill and Ted Face the Music will be with us on August 21st, 2020. So, next year. Honestly, I cannot wait for this movie. I really can't wait for it. It is a Keanu Reeves resurgence. And I'm really, really looking forward to any movie with Keanu in. He's a great actor. So it says, joining returning stars, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter will be Bridget Lundy Payne and Samara Weaving, who will play Billy Logan, so the daughter of Ted, which is interesting. So Ted named his daughter after Bill, and then Bill named his daughter after Ted, so it'll be playing Thea Preston, respectively. What an interesting turn of events. I mean, that is very much a Bill and Ted thing. You'd imagine them to do that, so that does make sense to me. It says, Lundy Payne's credits include Atypical and The Glass Castle, while Weaving will be best known for her roles in Netflix's The Babysitter and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. That's a great film. 3 Billboards. They'll be joined by William Sadler, who will return as Bogus Journey's Grim Reaper. So I'm looking forward to Bill and Ted. a few main things. It says original creators Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon have written the script, so that's bodes incredibly well. And Dean Parisot has been confirmed to direct, so that's good. I mean, that part's kind of fine, but the fact that the original creators have written the script is great news. I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's funny that obviously Bill named his daughter after Ted, and Ted named his daughter after Bill. I think that's all just in good jest. I think that's funny as hell. So I'd love to hear your thoughts though. What do you think of the casting? What do you think of the fact that this is returning to our screens and we're having a Keanu resurgence? What do you think? And hopefully, hey, maybe we'll even get Constantine 2. Who knows? But anyway, shuffling on, The Wrap is reporting that Brian Tyree Henry is in talks to join Emily Blunt for A Quiet Place 2. This is an exclusive. So it says Brian Tyree Henry is in negotiations to join Emily Blunt in John Krasinski's A Quiet Place 2. An individual with knowledge of the project told The Wrap exclusively. Cillian Murphy, Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe are also starring in the sequel, for which Krasinski is also writing the script, but plot details are being kept under wraps. I wasn't aware that the script was actually finished at this point in time, so I'm not sure that there's any details to really come out surrounding the film. It states that obviously the original film was about one sole family. Brian is best known for his work on where is it? I don't even know. What is it? Atlanta. That's the one. God damn. That's a highly regarded show. It's a show which I've never even watched, unfortunately. But he's moving up in the world with certain bits and pieces. Like, he's in Godzilla vs. Kong next year. He's going to be in Child's Play. He's in a lot of things. His trajectory of career is just blown up. Look, A Quiet Place 2 is a movie which personally I don't think needs to happen. I'm a bit annoyed that Emily Blunt is returning anyway, because it seemed, if you're going to return to a world which wrapped itself up nicely in a little bow, don't bring the same characters back. Do it like a anthology. Tell the story from someone else's perspective. But hey, whatever. I'm going to watch it anyway. I didn't mind A Quiet Place. I didn't think it was spectacular by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a good film. I liked the sensory play with little sound and things like that. I thought that was great. But I hand it on over to you. What do you think about this? Is this good, bad? Do you like Brian as an actor? And what do you hope for his role in this? Because obviously a lot of people are very familiar with him in very certain roles, almost typecast, I guess you could say. So what do you hope for Brian for A Quiet Place 2? What do you hope for his characterization in the film? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, moving on, we've got time for some viewer questions. If you want to submit your questions to me, please do email them to me, mrhreviews@gmail.com, using the subject line, The Wrap Up. And hopefully, if we've got time at the end of each of this daily show, I can get to those questions and get your questions answered for you. So let's take a look into the mailbox today. So straight from the top, we have one from Mandy. Mandy states, I've been a fan of your Horrorverse videos and then fell into your news-related stuff as well. However, my question is about Hellraiser. No worries. Thank you so much for the question, Mandy. And thank you so much for support on the channel. So she says, I've loved these films for well in excess of a decade and I rewatch all of them, save Revelations, at least once a year, with my favourites being picked up off and on across the year when I get an itch. However, I did not find The Hellbound Heart until much later. I never even thought to see if it was based on anything, which has something to do with the fact that I picked up on the series when Hellseeker came out. Interesting. So she states, as a long-time Hellraiser fan, I'd like to get your opinion on the Scarlet Gospels. Personally, I felt that it was a cop-out. I felt that Clive turned his own narrative on its head. There was no Leviathan, the whole structure of hell had changed, and the Hell Priest seemed very changed from Hellbound Heart, from a loyal soldier of Leviathan to a power-hungry Lord of Hell seeking a throne. While I know that it is technically canon, I do hope that the new theatrical remake does not include this and sticks with the love created in Hellbound Heart, the lore created in Hellbound Heart, and perhaps some in the comics. What do you think? Thanks for taking the time to read this. Well, look, Mandy, I'd hasten to agree with you. From the Hellbound Heart to the Scarlet Gospels, there was definitely a change in how Clive perceived the world. You can very much see his resentment for the series in the Hellbound Heart, which it could be a pro and a con. I mean, it's dependent on how you perceive it. I mean, overall, I completely see where you're coming from. I mean, the fact that, the Hell Priest just suddenly wanted to, I don't want to get into over spoilers, but basically become the ruler of Hell was bizarre. Bizarre for sure. The characterization was changed as well. I mean, he was definitely influenced by the movies. Obviously, he became Pinhead, as opposed to an androgynous being in Hell, which it was in the Hellbound Heart. So, I didn't personally like it. I like elements of it. And I think if it wasn't connected to the Hellbound Heart, it would have been a better story. So, hopefully that has answered your question. But in terms of the new one, yeah, I hope they don't reference it at all. I'd hope they would just come up with something kind of new and original, or at least take more from the Hellbound Heart than they do the Scarlet Gospels. But again, thanks so much for your question. And again, as always, guys, if you want to submit yours, chuck it on over Gmail, misstagereviews@gmail.com, using the subject line, The Wrap Up. So, the Anti-Avenger shot me over a question, and he states, "Hello, Misstage. First up, thank you for the entertainment." No worries, you're perfectly welcome. I have a quick question regarding Terminator Dark Fate. Do you think it's possible that the character of Kyle Reese could potentially return and play a part in the upcoming trilogy? Perhaps as Danny Ramos' future partner, given that the timeline has now changed and he would have been at least 16 years old in the new timeline. I personally think this would add an extra layer to the new story, as well as having connective tissue to what came before it. Okay, I mean, look, thank you so much for the question. From my standpoint, I think that would be an awful idea. And the only reason, I'm not trying to poo-poo your suggestion here, but the only reason is that they're playing on nostalgia heavily for this movie anyway. They're killing off characters which are, people have wanted to see in action for a really, really long time. And they're trying to pass the torch to a new generation. I think for Kyle Reese to basically do the same role as he's always been intended, but with a new person, would seem insincere. And it would seem really, that undoubtedly would be a cop-out in my eyes. I don't like that idea. I think it would very much just scream of, we've got no ideas, no originality. Sarah Connor is now Danny Ramos, basically. Natalia Ray's character. I don't like that idea just purely because I think it builds too much off the original, and there's nothing original about it, in effect. I think that they won't do that either. I think they will definitely go with something else. But hey, look, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think? What do you think, the Anti-Avenger? Let me know down below in the comment section. So that wraps it up here for me here on this daily dose of pop culture and movie news, The Wrap Up. If you did enjoy this, please do leave it a massive thumbs up and give it a share. That really helps me out, and it also helps get this show out to more people. If you like what I am doing here, like I said, please do consider becoming a patron down below in the description box. And don't forget to submit your viewer questions, and potentially they can get answered on tomorrow's show. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I have been Mr. H. Take care.